My name is Abdulmalik. I am on the Quran Study program. I joined the Quran Study program primarily for myself because I wanted to reconnect with the Quran and learn to engage with the Quran in a more deep way rather than just reading the words of the Quran, but actually trying to understand what Allah is trying to say to us and the message that He's passing to us and how to implement those things in our lives. Having been on the course for about 5 months now, I'd say it was the best choice I could make at the time. Life commitments meant I couldn't really do the Almiya program at this time, and the Quran Study program has just been amazing because it's the perfect balance between challenging you enough but not challenging you so much that you can't keep up. And in terms of my own personal experiences, it's just trying to find the right words reignited this spark that you had in you that you might have lost due to the pressures of life. So definitely the best choice that I've made in a long time, and I'd advise anyone who's trying to figure out what to do to give the Quran program a shot. My favorite module is the in-depth tafsir session with Sheikh Akram that we have in the afternoon. It's just an hour, and we tend to go through maybe 3, not more than 5 verses in that hour, where Sheikh Akram goes in depth into explaining the verses and the meanings of the verse and the lessons from the verse. And each session I leave just being quite astounded with the insights that Sheikh Akram brings. For example, we think about Surah Yusuf and in the verse about the women that cut their hands with a knife, and everyone thinks about that as women cutting their knives, but then Sheikh Akram came with an explanation that was completely different, but it made perfect sense. And once he said it, you couldn't just think about the verse in any other way. And I guess having this teacher with you that has spent so much time looking into the Quran, researching into the Quran, going to the primary sources, he's dedicated his life to this work, and you're then able to basically get a distilled version of all the knowledge that he has without having to put in the years and years and decades of work that he's put in. So definitely that's the highlight for me of the day. I think the biggest gain I've gotten from the Quran study program is just reconnecting with the Quran. As you grow older, you start a family, you have children, you start work, you start losing the things that you might have been able to better do when you were younger. And this was a very good way to sort of get me back into engaging with the Quran on a daily basis, starting to think about what I'm reading in the Quran rather than just I need to read a few lines here and there. You start thinking about it, and that's transformational because now you look at the Quran in a different way and you try to learn from the Quran. And every time you're reading the Quran, even if it's only one line or one verse, you're actually trying to take something from it. So it's a very different way of looking at the Quran and engaging with the Quran. So it's been, for me, transformational.